Alright, and we're back. What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bilbo Swaggings, aka your friendly neighborhood homie. What's good? Back on the channel. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that. Just been feeling a bit off. And man, doing this YouTube stuff for me now. I always want to do it. It takes a lot of time and just it's draining. But I'm back. I'm trying something new with my videos, as you can see with the way that it's going and the format that will be filmed. And yeah, I'm thinking of starting a new series on my YouTube. It's gonna be called, I don't know. I'm still thinking of a name, Like if you guys can come up with a name for it, I'm thinking of calling it My Two Cents. It's just my thoughts while I'm just jamming NBA 2K and just chilling, sipping on a little something, for the folks back at home. So yeah. So today's topic, it's a bit controversial, and I don't even know how I feel about making this video. But I just felt like I had to make my thoughts known about it, because it's interesting, It plays into a lot of what's going on with the current world. And just a quick disclaimer, by the way, like the thoughts that I say here or make on this video are mine alone, and I do not mean to offend anybody or step on anybody's toes. These are just my thoughts and observations. This no way promotes any ideology, nor to promote hate or ignorance. So yeah, so I want to talk about like this whole DaBaby situation. I know I'm a bit late, but yeah, like I think we're all up to speed with it now. DaBaby came out. I think what was it? Rolling Loud came out. The weird call to action, as he calls it, just saying some mad ignorant shit. And before you think I'm gonna defend him, no, that's not what this video is. This video is actually the opposite of that, but like kind of like that, but not really that. But you see what I mean. So DaBaby makes some disparaging remarks that you could say alienate. Not you could say they do alienate a group of people, and they're very ignorant. Like they're very ignorant, like super ignorant. There's no excuse for it. And I know his excuses. Oh no, it's just vibing, call to action, just chilling with the crowd, just trying to make people get ready for my next set and just get the people going. I mean, that's a thing in hip hop, but I mean, I think his choice of words is also a bit random. Also a bit random and also seems very targeted. But yeah, we push. So he said what he said. I don't think I have to repeat them. I think by now everyone knows them and is up to date with them. And he got major backlash. I'm talking about. They told Homeboy like, "Stop! You fumbled that bag." He fumbled his bag. I'm talking about like within the space of a week, if I'm not mistaken. He was cancelled from a bunch of shows. Even Day in Vegas dropped him, which I feel was probably one of his biggest bags. ACL. To name a few. So now my thing with the whole thing is that it was pretty interesting, and there's been a school of thought where people say like it's pretty interesting how everyone was so quick to rush to criticize him, rightfully so, and cancel it, cancel culture. I'm not a big fan of it, but I do feel like it's necessary sometimes. But at the same time, it's like, if we were going to cancel DaBaby, shouldn't we have done it a long time ago? Like, I'm not one to compare struggles. Like I said, I'm down for LGBTQ. I have friends in the culture, and I'm also like a person who, as a person of color, a black person, I feel like I understand being discriminated against. So I would never ever like promote any kind of hate or derogatory sentiments towards another group or a minority group or anyone in general. I just feel like respect everyone's wishes and what they want to do and what they believe in, as long as they're not hurting you and as long as they're not impeding on you. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Got a bit sidetracked there. Just had to put those disclaimers out before I get called all types of names. I wanted to say that I find it funny how I feel like a lot of the backlash that DaBaby is getting, and again, like I said, rightfully so, he deserves it, was also a bit of performance, especially on the part of let's talk about the events that he was quote unquote cancelled from. isn't it funny how it's okay for him to like? I mean, DaBaby, like, let's if we go a quick history of the fuck shit that DaBaby's done. DaBaby's killed someone personally, rapped about it, although it's self-defense, rapped about it. One of his biggest songs, one of my favorite songs, funny enough, came from that. DaBaby also has been known to get physical with his fans, and not too long ago, actually slapped a female, like punched a female fan. Bro, I'm talking about KO. I'm talking about he went Tyson Fury on her. Apologies for that. I don't know if it was ever sorted out, but it's weird to me how he has done all these things, and also has a bit of like a history with his whole girlfriend and I'm not going to go into the whole colorist thing, but like that's not the topic for today. So my thing is, so we're just gonna let all of that slide, but these remarks, and rightfully so, he deserves to get cancelled for them. But these remarks and now the camel, like the straw that broke the camel's back, like something just doesn't add up for me. I mean, and I get it, like all types of hate and ignorance shouldn't be allowed. And even that, I would, and I know this might piss a lot of people off, I wouldn't say he was being hateful. I think he's being ignorant because he was isolating a fan base of his, because obviously AIDS is still a big thing in the world and there's a lot of people dealing with it, and I'm sure that he has a lot of fans, which that's why I say I can't excuse that. I found it very ignorant and very insensitive because it's a serious topic, people die from that. So, but besides that, he, in his mind, I guess he felt like he was just vibing with the crowd and he wants to like call to action, like get everyone hyped up. And again, I don't promote it, but I can kind of get it. I can understand the flawed logic behind it. So yeah, back to my point. So now my thing is like, but then, so the kind of the message I'm getting from these people, and especially the event organizers that like cancel them, is that you can do all the fuck shit that you've done before. Like you can literally be a murderer, an abusive person, a violent person, but let you speak on certain groups or certain topics. That's where we like step in, and this for me kind of links up with this term I've been seeing a lot lately, which is what you call it? Sorry, give me a sec. Selective outrage. This is a prime form of selective outrage. We are so quick to jump onto certain bandwagons and like cancel people for certain things, but there's a double standard when it comes to other things. Like, well, mom, people are just like, hey, yo, I'm touching that. Like, we still rock with him, regardless of all of that. And I'm just saying, so like, shouldn't there be some kind of boundary, or like, for fairness sake, shouldn't there be some kind of standard that we all adhere to, and we're like, you know, these are the lines we don't cross, and if you cross them, cancel all throughout, all of them. But it just feels like now it's starting to say like certain things take precedence over certain issues, take precedence over other issues. And again, like I'm saying, I don't want to compare struggles and stuff, different struggles and causes, especially ones that I can't personally speak on because they're not my cause. Like I can't speak on the LGBTQ community. I can give my thoughts, but that's their cause and that's their struggle, and I can't speak on it. But I'm just saying, like, to set a flawed precedent and a standard, shouldn't this apply to everyone, whether it's racism, sexism, homophobia, and such, and all the other isms? Shouldn't that be an actual thing? Shouldn't we be more focused on making sure that everyone's on equal ground? Because from what I'm getting from it, and also even how celebrities now all of a sudden come out the woodwork, and I think only Miley Cyrus and T.I. came to his aid, and a few black celebrities, but I mean, it'd be like that sometimes, came out and said like, most celebrities came out and like were vilifying him, and it's like, and the one that really bugged me the wrong way, and I'm sorry for any Dua Lipa fans, Dua Lipa, whatever, Dua Lipa fans out there, I think she had some nerve to come out and just be like, oh, I'm taking him off my song, because they have a hit song together. I didn't listen to it. I personally not a fan of Dua Lipa's music. Goes, she did this pretty dope. I've heard her songs here and there, but not a fan. I haven't even heard that song she had with DaBaby. But she comes out the woodwork all of a Sunday, and it's just like, yeah, I can't be associated with this person, yada yada yada, performative activism. Yeah, basically, I'm taking him off the song, and I'm like, cool. Firstly, why are you injecting yourself into the situation? No one asked you. No one was going to basically. I don't think anyone was going to hold her accountable for the actions of someone she's featured on the song. I don't think anyone thinks they're like homies like that. They just made a song together, and it was like, I think it's number one in the US. I'm not sure. So why? And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because it's funny, like it's. I know it's gonna rub a few people the wrong way, but certain people, and I don't want to make it a race thing or this and this and this, but people are okay with coming into the culture and using the culture when it benefits them, but they will be the first people to turn their backs on you if it comes to saving their own skin. Even if they don't have to, they will just. I mean, I remember I was having a conversation with someone fairly recently. I heard the Pop Smoke album, which I honestly also think was a stain on his name. And even I can say that also not as a Pop Smoke fan, but there was a song on there, like, there was a nice song there with Pusha T and Kanye West, but there was a song on there with Dua Lipa on it. I'm like, huh? Pop Smoke is a homie. He's a hood nigga. Like, he's woo. Like, I don't even think in his lifetime. Maybe if his career did lead him to that path, I don't know. I can't speak for the man. May rest in peace. But I don't think he would ever be okay with making a song with Dua Lipa. But she jumped on that opportunity to be on that album that basically featured everyone but Pop Smoke. And then she now wants to do a 180 on this guy and be like, oh yeah. I honestly can't be associated with him and stuff. It's like, that's culture shit for me. That shit is what irritates me and drives me the wrong way. Like, people are so quick to come into the culture, and the culture is not set for like any particular race or any group of people. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying it's very interesting how certain people or certain entities will come into the culture and feel like it's okay to use it as long as it benefits their ends. It suits their ends. But as soon as it gets hot in the kitchen, they're the first people to be like, no, well, like, we don't fuck with that. It's the same reason why back in the day I used to tell my homies that I know for a fact when Miley Cyrus is still going through her black phase or her rebellious stage, as I call it, I tell my homies, I'm like, this chick, she's gonna turn around one day and is gonna just do a 180 on hip hop and be like, that was a bad time in my life. I wasn't really thinking straight, yada yada yada. You know the usual Karen tears. And she did. Well, she didn't say it exactly verbatim what I said, but she basically came around and started saying, oh, hip hop's so materialistic, it's misogynistic. Like, bruh, for a whole 2-3 years, bro, you were out here repping Jordan. I'm sure you never even watched a Jordan game. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that's not cool. But that's just what the game has become, and like I feel like we're so comfortable with that. Like, people just coming in and out and using the game as they feel. Like, I'm a strong hip hop head, so I mean, this kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I digress. So, like I said, people like Dua Lipa coming out the woodworks, saying, like, all of a sudden vilifying this man. And I mean, he's ignorant, but for you to do that, that's disloyal to me. And I mean, like, she owed him nothing. But it just also kind of just shows you, like, bro, what should you surround yourself with? All these artists that you're kikiing with and like you're cool with, they're not really there for you. They're not there for the culture. And yes, there is a time when you should stand up and you should like fight ignorance and you should vilify someone who's done the wrong thing. Because I'm just thinking, had you said, okay, let's say it was someone like a white person said something racist, would I feel the same way I feel now? Would I feel like he was vilified? I think it's good to play devil's advocate with these things, but I'm not sure how to react but I do feel that I like to maintain objectivity when it comes to these things. I like to feel like I'm a very objective person, and I like to see from both sides. And again, like I said, I don't think what he did was right, but I feel like a lot of performative activism has come out of it, and that's what kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. And I feel like this is also detrimental when it comes to having conversations about like homophobia and different things in hip hop, because now there is a school of thought where people think like there's a certain agenda going on, which I don't think it is. I just think that's misogynistic. There's no gay agenda. There is, however, like, let me say, it's trendy. It's the trendiest thing, but I don't think it's a gay agenda. That's like saying you're trying to push it on you. No, I just think they're more open and there's more spaces for people to really express themselves, and that's so cool. And like, I'm okay with that. And I feel like everyone has the right to express themselves. I mean, we've been ripping, killing people, and gun toting for a long time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with someone just saying like, yo, I love people. I love someone who's like the same sex as me. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think it hurts anybody, and I don't know why people have a problem with that. My problem is now, like I said, certain issues are now starting to take precedent over different things. And also, like I said, even like, let's just take it back to like the issue I brought up with him. The person he hit was a black woman. You hear about it here and there, but it was like quickly like hushed up. It was like done. Like, why is no one protecting that? Why is no one trying to cancel him, protecting black women, or like trying to cancel him for that? I'm not even trying to be on some hotel, but it's just funny to me how just certain issues always take precedent, and it's okay. I just wish there was a standard that we all could adhere to, and we could all like basically adhere to. I'm not trying to find a word for it. There's no need for me to find a word for it. Just trying to sound smart for nothing, and I'm chilling. Like, this is just a raw, unfiltered, uncut me just talking, chatting the shit with you. Right. So T.I. came out with a video in response to DaBaby. He said something along the lines of, again, I'm not going to quote verbatim because this happened very long ago. I just decided to make this video recently. But along the lines of, if Lil Nas X can kick his shit, why can't DaBaby kick his shit? I mean, firstly, that's ignorant. I mean, Lil Nas X more so wasn't like being hateful towards one group, like as DaBaby could be seen, or it could be interpreted as being aggressive to one and violent to one group. But I do have to say, and as much as it irritates me to say this, because I used to be a T.I. fan, but T.I. is very ignorant and has his own issues that he needs to deal with. But he has a point, though, and it's going to bring me to the next point of my video, which is Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X, for me, for all intents and purposes, I think the way the industry is pushing him is problematic, and he himself is problematic. He himself has come out as a troll and said he's been a troll before. He's been known to have stan accounts, fake Twitter accounts, whatever, where he trolls people's fan groups and stuff and just says problematic things. But no way, we're young, we all do dumb things, and we all go through different things in life, so cool. Now, my thing is, what I think T.I. was trying to say is that Lil Nas X, let's circle back to that video he made of Montero and what you call it? Montero, yeah, call me, whatever his name is, I don't remember. Jeez, I used to be a Lil Nas X fan. I loved his old stuff. I stopped being his fan. Not because he said it was gay, like I just stopped. I just didn't like the fruit. Like I liked his first album, I jammed so hard. That album was fire throughout. Panini, everything. But then I started noticing that the industry started taking advantage of the whole Lil Nas X's gay thing, and it became the whole selling point for everything. And it became provocative. And I mean, hip hop itself, like in general, is provocative. I mean, there was controversy over WAP, which I feel was super stupid. Like, it's just women expressing themselves sexually, like anyone like men have been doing for like how many years in hip hop. But cool. But now with Montero, for me, it's a very interesting case. Because, like, look at this. Let's take everything back. I feel like sometimes you need to take everything back case by case basis. I myself am a Christian. Like, I'm not like the most overly religious Christian. I'm not like a zealot or anything. But I do understand there are people like that. I have family like that. I know people like that. And they saw that video as blasphemous and as an insult to them and to their religion. And as much as we say respect everyone's boundaries, let's respect theirs too. So if they're saying like, yo, we don't like this, we don't fuck with this, like this is kind of offensive to us, why are we so quick to judge them and try to force our ideologies and our belief on them? I remember I watched this very interesting video by Abba and Preach. They're talking about like how anime characters are always white. You guys ever noticed that? That's actually very weird. But we interpret them as white. And I think they were reacting to a video of someone who was walking around Korea and like asking people what race they think these anime characters are. And these people, to them, they saw them as similar to them. And basically, okay, before I digress, basically the message of the video is that our own beliefs and like our societal values and whatever we believe in doesn't necessarily apply to the rest of the world. And it's a very narrow-minded way of thinking to think that everyone should be okay with how we think. There is no uniform way of thinking. So for us, we thought like, oh, maybe whatever there's colorism going on, it's colorist, and because that's what's in with us right now. That's the kind of society most let me not even say most of the world. Let's say the Western world believes. But for them, it's just like, no, that's just how we interpret. That's how we interpret ourselves and how we interpret these characters. And Ivan Priest raised a good point that it's very kind of big-headed of us and very like weird that we assume that they share the same sentiments as us. So yeah, like again, I'm digressing. It'd be that risky, dog. It'd be getting different. But anyways, to circle back to what I was saying, why is it that when there was backlash, rightfully so, I mean, this man basically took scripture and kind of was blasphemous about it. I mean, you can say it's artsy and everything, and yeah, sure, to some circles it is. To me, I didn't see it as much. I mean, it didn't bother me as much, and I feel like if something bothers me, I just don't take it. I just don't digest that content. I just let it go. Like I'm just like, yo, it's for someone, just not for me. Keep it pushing, which I feel like everyone should do, because not everything's catered for you. But there's now the sentiment that if you didn't like that video or it puts you off Lil Nas X, you are a homophobe, or you are not an ally to LGBTQ community. And that to me is very disingenuous, and it stops people from having honest conversations. Like, let's be honest, like he to an extent was encroaching, like imposing on another group of people, and they pushed back and they didn't feel okay with it. I mean, he even came out with like the blood shoes. I'm not even gonna get into that, but it's well within their right or their prerogative to say, I don't fuck with that, and they're allowed to. But it's weird that now we're told to basically like, you're not allowed to feel that way. It's not okay. And I'm not saying that's the whole gist of like the argument against homophobia, but there is a school of thought where I feel like a lot of people have become concerned about the thought like of the herd, and we forget what individuality is, and people are allowed to be individuals. I'm not saying promote hate. I'm not saying be discriminating against any other people, but people are allowed to have their own feelings. And I think we're so stuck up in trying to prove that we're such good people and like we perform, because I don't know, like I don't know if it's social media or whatever, but we feel very performative. Everything feels so performative nowadays. Like we always want to show that we're such a good person, and this is why we're so amazing, and this is why I'm so down with the crowd and everything. And I feel like it's so disingenuous. And yeah, man, but I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to feel like I'm stepping on too many people's toes. I mean, that was just my thoughts on the whole thing. It was just an interesting a little weak with that whole situation. So yeah, I'll be doing more of these videos. I'll be trying to film. I finally managed to figure out the setup. I'll be doing more of these videos at least like maybe 2 or 3 a week on different topics. I would like for you guys to join the live when I play like on live and I ask you guys, come join, bro. Come join the live. Just come go on YouTube. Like come follow your boy. Like and subscribe. Just go when I go live. I'm always live. I'm just chilling. It's vibes. Sometimes I also have like people featuring. Come chill with me and then give me topics. Let's have a back and forth. And also in the comments, tell me like what you feel about this video. What you guys thought. Like, was I talking on my ass? Was I just not making sense? Or I don't know how you feel. Whether you disagree, whether you agree, you disagree. I'm very keen to hear your thoughts. I feel like everyone is entitled to have their day in court. But anyways, yeah, it's good being back. I'm just trying this out. It's not gonna be perfect. It's my first time doing this, but I'm glad you guys are rocking out with me. Love y'all. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you on the next one.